Hello everyone. I welcome you all to the BNMIT podcast series. I am Nidhi Chandru, a third year computer science and engineering student from BNMIT. In today's world, there are a lot of new terminologies and job roles which are popping up. Since there are a lot of career options one can choose from, it should also align with an individual's interest. To shed light on this, we have with us Dr. Karthik S, Associate Professor from Computer Science and Engineering Department, BNMIT. I am glad to have you, sir. I welcome you to the podcast.
Thank you, Nidhi. I'm excited and happy to be a part of this BNMIT podcast series. And I believe that with the discussion that we are about to have, it will be helpful for a lot of students and stakeholders who are looking for various job opportunities.
To begin with, I have friends from AIML, ISC and other non-IT branches as well. What are the domains available for all the students, sir?
Yes, maybe. It was always, for the past 10-15 years, it was always about software engineer because that started the craze. But now the major difference is it is not only software engineering. There are also various other roles which provides enormous opportunity for the students and exciting remuneration as well. So I'm here to talk about such roles that are available in the market today. There are such roles like full stack development and job roles in cloud computing, such as cloud architect, cloud engineer, cloud security analyst, and then there is data science, AML, and all the related jobs. And we also have something in data visualization. So out of all these things, I think these are some top-notch jobs that are available in the market as of now.
That's great to know. Now I would like to start up with cloud computing and related fields. I recently saw a post on LinkedIn where a guy mentions that he's landed a job as a cloud analyst. What is needed to land into such job roles, sir?
Yes, Nidhi. Before answering this question, I would like to brief about cloud computing for the sake of non-IT students who will be listening to this podcast. Cloud computing is a way to access resources such as memory, server, software, and even applications over the internet. The main idea behind cloud computing is that why to buy resources when you can rent it and use it and pay as per you use. Okay. So since the internet capacity is extremely high now, it will be very helpful for us and for everyone to usually use or work in cloud rather than work on a local systems. For example, you would know that there is Google Docs, Google Sheet, and Google Forms, for which Google presentations, for which you don't have to have that corresponding document in your system. It will be available on the internet so that it does not acquire the local infrastructure. So this is the impact, and that is why cloud computing is very much important in today's market.
Okay, sir. So what are the other job roles available in this field, sir?
Yeah. So first, I would like to start with a cloud architect. See, cloud architect is an exciting opportunity where you get a chance to design the cloud infrastructure. See, whenever there is a company, that organization will have a vision, will have a mission and set of goals. The main role of the cloud architect is to build the cloud infrastructure that meets the vision and mission of the company. So usually the cloud architect interacts with the CTOs, the directors, and based on their inputs, they will design the cloud infrastructure. And then there is a cloud engineer. The main role of cloud engineer is to take the infrastructure that is being built by the cloud architect and maintain it. Since all the applications and platforms are running on the cloud, it is very much needed that one has to constantly monitor it, look for any errors. If there's any problem, they have to fix it. And that is where cloud engineer comes into picture. And there is also one more role, that is cloud administrator. See, in most of the companies, this cloud administrator and cloud engineer will be one and the same. It depends on the requirement of the company. Cloud administrator also oversees on the cloud operations, checks whether the infrastructure is running smoothly or not over a period of time.
So since you mentioned about internet, how do you trust it? Like data and all, how do you know that it's secure?
Extremely right, Nidhi. You are right, and you have every right to be worried about your data because everything is available over the internet. But that is where one more important role comes into picture, that is cloud security analyst. See, since everything is over the internet, it is very imperative for a person to oversee all these things because a lot of things depends on the data on the internet. Lot of money is being invested on that scale. So hence it is imperative that people should make sure that the data is secure on the cloud. So that is where cloud security architect analyst comes into picture. The main role of cloud security analyst is to ensure that the cloud data is very safe. The person has to check upon various aspects such as networks like firewalls and intrusion detection systems to make sure the data is not vulnerable to any form of attacks. Apart from that, the security analyst should also know about various cryptographic techniques, cryptographic algorithms that will keep the system safe.
That is great to know. I would like to know the requirements for cloud engineer as well as a cloud analyst.
Yeah, Nidhi. See, to become a cloud analyst or cloud architect or cloud engineer, there are some requisites. Number one, he or she should be aware of a couple of programming languages, say Python, Java, and then the candidate should also have expertise in at least one of the many cloud platforms. There is Amazon Web Service, AWS, there is Microsoft Azure, and then there is Google Cloud Platform also. So the organization will expect you to be an expert in at least one of those fields. Apart from that, he also has to know about networking concepts as well as operating systems. See, Windows is a common requisite for everyone, but for a cloud role, you also need to have some exposure about Linux operating systems.
That is great, sir. Websites are required for all the companies, whether it's a small company such as a startup or big companies such as Google or Microsoft. So, what role does web development have in the current market?
Absolutely. Very interesting question, Nidhi. See, web developer is a person who has expertise in creating front ends. Creating web pages, creating websites for companies or for individuals. It is a very exciting career opportunity. A person who is an expert in web developer must know lots of front-end skills such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And this web development is an exciting role because it is not only a way for doing full-time career, but there is a lot of other opportunities for freelancing as well. I personally know many students who are pursuing their engineering who are doing freelancing on web developers. And believe me, they are earning handsome money while they are studying. So this role, web development, is one of the definite exciting prospects that is available for the current generation of students.
So then what's the difference between web development and full stack development?
Yeah. Coming to full stack development, see, we say a person is a web developer when he is an expert in front end. We say a guy is an expert, is a full stack developer when he not only works on front end, but also is aware of back end. So basically, he's a holistic creator where he knows front-end skills, that is client-side skills, as well as the back-end, that is server-side skills. So apart from knowing about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, a full-stack developer should also know about back-end technologies such as Python, Ruby, Java. In addition to that, it is very imperative that he or she should know about database technologies. We have SQL, MongoDB, and various other NoSQL technologies. So these are the fundamental requirements for a full stack development. And believe me, in the current market, this is one of the top trending job roles, which pays a hefty amount to all the deserving candidates.
So in the current era, there are a lot of domains which are popping up like Gen AI, ChatGPT, data science, and many other fields. So I personally met people who are working as data scientists, data analysts, data quality engineer. So what does these roles have to offer for the youngsters, sir?
An excellent question, Nidhi, and I think this is a very much needed question in the current scenario because I see everyone, not only students, even parents being inquisitive about what to choose. Is it data science? Is it AI? Or is it computer science? Is it information science? See, before going to answering these things, I would like you to assume all these as separate domains: machine learning, AI, data science, and all those things. Okay. The thing is, assume a Venn diagram now. If you assume a Venn diagram, these domains, a circle, will have lots of things to overlap. Okay. So it's all the same, and it has lots of other technologies which are similar to each other. If I have to start with, say, data science, there is one role called as data quality analyst, and that is for a beginner. The main role of data quality analyst is to make sure that the data is accurate, reliable, and usable. So because the entire field of this data relies on that quality of data. If the data quality is not great, then whatever inferences, whatever decisions you are going to build will not be proper as well. So that is where this data quality analyst comes into picture. The main role of this data quality analyst is to make sure that data is clean, If there is any errors, fix it, transform the data in the way that you want, and then normalize the data. The objective is to make sure that the data that you prepare should be used by others in the further data pipelines.
Right, sir. So what is the role of a data scientist then?
Yeah. So now when you come to talk about data scientists, see, apart from what a data quality analyst and data engineer does is prepare the data and keep it ready for further processing. That is where a data scientist comes into picture. The main role of data scientist is to make sure that take the data, analyze the data, do some inference over it, and then give some insights to the organization. It is based on that insights, organization will go forward with the decision making. If I talk about requirements, all the people who want to have a career in data scientists should have a knowledge about programming languages, Python, C, Java, and stuff like that. They should also know about various machine learning models and algorithms which are used for making decision making and performing analysis. Apart from that, they need to know about database technologies, SQL, NoSQL, and all those things. All these things are important to give a proper decision making to the organization, which will be used to generate revenues.
So since you mentioned about machine learning, so what is the difference between data science engineer and a machine learning engineer?
Yeah, again, one more confusing lingo. See, machine learning and data scientist engineer are not exactly the same. At the same time, they are not very different. See, primarily it depends on the scale of organization. The problem in the current scenarios, there are big established MNCs as well as there are some small startups coming into picture. Assuming a small startup, it is not possible for them to have a person or have set of people in the company as data quality analysts or data engineer, data scientists and machine learning engineers. The cost would be too much for them to bear. So what they do is they try to hire the same person for more than one roles. Right? So for example, they would recruit probably a machine learning engineer and he or she will be taking care of the role of data scientist as well. Or it can be a data engineer with sufficient machine learning skills to perform both the jobs. But so it depends purely on the organization and the scale of the organization. To answer your question anyhow, a machine learning engineer is a person who develops models that works on AI systems. The primary goal is to create AI models with using various machine learning algorithms that can be used and it can be used for training the data and then testing the data. If there is any scope of improvement, it can rework on that so that the results can be improved. So a machine learning engineer should have all the skills as a data scientist, but apart from that, he or she is required to have some specific skill sets. That will range up to exposure to various machine learning algorithms, how they work, which algorithm should be used for which corresponding task, and which model should be built, and all those things he or she should be aware of. Apart from these algorithms, a machine learning engineer should also be aware about various libraries such as PyTorch, Keras, NumPy, Scikit-learn, and lots of other things. So this role is very, very interesting because you can work on real data sets and you can derive some inferences which would determine the profit and loss of a company.
That's really a great insight, sir. Moving on to the next domain, which is data visualization. All of us would have come across this ad on YouTube where a person is interviewing a lady about what her occupation is. And she replies that she's a data visualization engineer. So the immediate question which pops up to his mind is, what is the package that she's earning? She quotes that she's earning about 20 lakhs per annum, which is a huge amount. So is it true, sir?
Nidhi, it is true that I have also seen that ad, and it is a fact that the ad in which I saw the salary quoted was 40 lakhs per annum. So if you ask me, I'm not sure about the salary, whether it is 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, but what I am sure of is data visualization by itself is a tremendous role. It is very much exciting role and it is coming up in all the fields, right? See, basic role of a data visualization engineer is to take the complex data and to convert it into a visually appealing way. The main reason for the boom of this role is, see, imagine you are a CEO of a company or CTO of the company. You are coming to a company to follow up on what's happening around. You will not have time to sit for half an hour or 40 minutes and listen to all the stories. You want a crisp suggestion. You want to have a crisp inference that will give you a better picture. And that is why the age of PPTs, Word document, seminars have all gone by. Now it's all about data visualization and data visualization tool. I'm sure you'd have heard about tools such as Power BI and Tableau. These tools provide excellent avenue for candidates to work on their visualization skills.
So since you mentioned about Power BI and Tableau, are only these two tools enough to land a job in data visualization, or are there any other tools available as well?
Good question, Nidhi. There are actually various tools available in terms of data visualization. I think to coach you, there is visualization using pandas, matplotlibs, keras, Seaborn, and lots of things are available. But the main edge that the Power BI and Tableau has over other softwares is it is code free. I'm repeating again, it is code free. I think it is very evident that the moment I mention code free, many will be excited in that opportunity. And that is why Power BI and Tableau is leading the market. A person does not have a knowledge on coding to work on data visualization. All he has to do is have the creativity. Okay, how to create dashboard, how to link multiple stories and present as one beautiful dashboard. And that is where this Power BI and Tableau comes into picture. Though there are many other tools such as Google Charts, Infogram, and lots of other things, the opportunities, the features, the impact that Power BI and Tableau has on data visualization is tremendous.
That's really great to know, sir. Since you mentioned it's code free, are there any other opportunities for students who are not interested in coding?
Absolutely, Nidhi. I think out of all the questions that you asked, this question will be interesting to many of the viewers because it is not only about the non-IT students. I personally know many of the IT students who are not interested in coding, or probably they want very less coding to continue with. There are various avenues for such people. I will list out very few aspects in that regard. First, I would like to talk about game development. This game development is purely for gamers. I'm sure that every one of us have played some games of some part of our life. And this is for those who are really addicted, or I would say those who are really interested in games with their creativity, with their understanding of the game, along with the technical skills, they can create visually appealing games. You know, there are lots of games that have swarmed the market, like Clash of Clans, PUBG. Lots of these games have created tremendous market in the field of game development. And believe me, there are passionate game developers who are involved in this task. So game development is there for those who are really interested in gaming side stuff. Apart from that, there is also something called as UX engineer or a graphic engineer. The main role of UX engineer or a graphic engineer is to create exciting web pages, is to create daring images that is completely cool. And you know, it is not only for technical aspects. You can even think about designs on t-shirt, designs for companies logos, and lots of other brands as well. These people are in so much demand because they can employ their skills at freelance also. So if you are good at creating websites, web pages, graphics, this is the role for you. And apart from that, there is also something called as content creator. You know, right? Nowadays, whatever we do, people take a camera and they start recording and uploading it on the internet, hoping that there'll be tons and tons of views and there'll be a huge amount of remuneration that will be generated. The fact is, content creation is an excellent field for those who know what content is required in the current trend. See, for example, right now, everything is a content, right? You can see politics has a huge scope. You see how many news channels debate over what content to be there. And it is almost like the content creators decide the agenda for the world, right? So it is extremely important, but you should also know that you have a huge responsibility on your heads. You can create a content on education, or even what we are doing right now is a content, right? So it is our responsibility to make sure that we are giving content about what they need. It is not about what we know that we can give. It is about what they need. It can be any stakeholders. For students, what do they need? We have to give that. For family people, what is the content they require? For administrator, what kind of content required? So if a person finds out what content to produce and how to properly make it, then that will be a huge success in the market right now.
Thank you, sir. I'm very excited to know that there are a lot of opportunity for non-coders as well. I would like to try my hands in some of them too.
Yeah, sure.
So now I have a personal question, sir. So in case I am interested in the field of data science and I want to join some field in data science, but then I don't land up initially in data science field. So can I switch careers, or is there anything I can do about it? Or should I continue to stay in the same field?
Yes, this is an absolutely vital question that everyone has to know. So people think that once they get a role in any organization, they have to continue with it. It is not about that. For example, you might be a person who is interested in data science, but the company would have recruited you for the role of software engineer. Doesn't mean that your dream of data science ends there. So what you have to do is be persistent. Keep building up the skills that are required to become a data science engineer or data scientist. Keep working on it, and there will be a platform. See, once you get into a company, I think lots of people are not aware about that. The moment you join any company, there will be a team or a group of people who will be overseeing your progress. And they are the people whom you can go up to when you face any issue or when you are looking for something new to. So you can reach out to the team and convey that you have interest and you have expertise in the field of your choice. The moment you say that or you convey that to the team, that team will keep that in mind. And when there is a proper opening, you can land up in that corresponding role. And it is not only about that. Lot of your friends will be working in different companies. Lot of your relatives will be working in different companies. You have to build a network with lots of other people so that even when there's an opening in their company, in your friend's company, or in your relative's company, you can jump into that. But you have to keep upskilling yourself. Job openings will be there around the clock. It will be there everywhere at every point of time. The main thing that you should focus on is whether are we upskilling ourselves in a proper way. That is more important. And if you have enough skill set, I am sure that you can always switch roles and land up in the place where you want to work.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. I'm sure it has cleared many of our queries. I personally have got answers to many of my queries as well. So thank you for being a part of this podcast, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. I would like to personally congratulate you because your questions were very daring and it was very much needed for the people who are listening to that, which helped me to give a clear answer for whatever you are trying to pose. I would like to conclude by saying this one thing. See, there will be lot of comments and opinions across the world that the market is up, market is down. You may land up in a job or you may not land up in a job. But what I would say is believe in yourself, upskill yourself, make sure that you have enough skill set and do lot of work at the back end. For sure, you will get what you want. So market will always be up and down, but it will never be down. So we have to know that if we have right skills, we can always land up in a place where we want to work and do what we want to do. So thank you, Nidhi, for inviting me to be a part of this podcast. I thank the BNMIT management for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful podcast and thereby trying to clarify many doubts that students and other stakeholders might possess. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure most of you have enjoyed this podcast. Stay tuned for more upcoming episode. Stay informed, stay authentic. Thank you.